Welcome to the Greatness Engineering Show, where we design, build, and amplify greatness from inside out. My name is Mariea. You know me as the Greatness Engineer, and I'm your host today. On this show, we bring you powerful voices and inspiring journeys and transformable insight from individuals who are inspiring and who are boldly shaping, their industry and redefining what's possible. And we hope that you will get you can learn from their inspiration, from their journey to pave the way for you to go to the next level of your greatness. So today we are going to the US, and my guest is Mariea Antoinette. So she is an international celebrated jazz harpist. So first time for me to have an harpist on the show. She's also a composer and a performer, and she has transformed the harp into a powerful instrument in what we call contemporary music. So she got the chance to introduce herself and let us know a little bit more about her journey. So we will have a great conversation to understand how she managed to become, the woman that she is today, and how she has been able to empower community and people through her music and empower herself as well. And so let us know where you're watching from. And I want to advise you to have something to write on, because I know that you're going to learn a lot from her. And hopefully, like I said, you will be, able to have some tools, some strategies from her, and some inspiration for you to build on and get to the next level of your greatness. So I will bring her now. Let us know where you're watching from. And don't hesitate, if you're watching live, to ask questions or just, be part of the conversation. That's all this show is for you. And you are, you are more than welcome to be part of the conversation with us. So don't go anywhere. I'm bringing Mariea Antoinette with us today. To another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Revered Global Leadership Organization.
Real is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily action.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
Don't deprive the world of your greatness. Please. Don't do that anymore. Dare to excel, dare to be sexy, dare to be you, dare to be the best version of yourself. Impact yourself positively, and from there impact others. And you are not alone.
So welcome to the Greatness Engineering Show, Marie Antoinette. It's actually very French, and French is actually my first language. So when I saw
Oh,
the yeah, when I saw the name, I was like, "Whoa, this sounds really, really French." But before we get, a lot of excitement, just wanted to ask you if you want to add to, because I did a very short, introduction about you. If you want to add something, anything that I've missed so far before we get, started.
well, I didn't know I don't know what you have. So I don't know what to add, but I think that probably if she sent you, my bio and all of that,
Mhm,
that's probably plenty. I'm pretty much a very down to earth person, despite
mhm,
the music is, very strong and powerful and rhythmic. But people always say they love that I'm so approachable and like the girl next door. So I always like to
mhm,
add that because a lot of times people have an image of someone, that actually is not even correct until you start speaking
mhm.
with them. So I'm very much what they say, awake and aware. I love that. Metaphysical. I love to read books, and I just enjoy life. I, walk on the beach about 3 times a week, do morning meditations to go within, and but very cool kind of girl.
Very cool, fantastic. And so we already have full room here. We have so she was early today. So that's Mama B Carter. She's been here. She started actually she logged in before I logged in actually, so she was already there. And we also have Pam. Hey, Pam, thank you for making it happen. It's just
Thank you,
unbelievable.
ma'am.
And so I just wanted to know, going through everything, all the material, reading about you when I was preparing this show, I was like, wow, this journey is just so inspiring and also very unconventional as well. So, the question I wanted to ask it, what first drew you to the harp, and when did you realize that, this will be your calling?
Yes. Well, I have to go back just a little bit before that because my parents made my brother and sister. We had to a gentleman at our church. He taught piano.
Mhm,
So every Saturday we had to go take piano lessons. And as much as I loved the piano, and then I sang in the children's gospel choir, I loved music. I mean, right from the beginning, I already knew. My parents knew that I had a musical edge to me. And with the piano lessons, the piano was not my instrument. But however, going forward, I went to an all girl private school here in San Diego. And once a month out of the year, they had a music month. And they would bring in different instruments from the orchestra. And so one week it would be the cello, the next week would be the violin. Well, this week, another week, then they brought in the harp. And first of all, I was just literally stunned at how it looked, and how beautiful it
mhm,
was, and anxious to hear what it sounded like. And then when she played, and I will never forget, she played Debussy's first arabesque, and the hair on my arm stood up. And
mhm,
again, that's middle school, and I knew then. I go, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to play. And so
mhm,
that teacher was my private teacher, and she took me all the way to the 12th grade, taking private lessons once a week with her. And so I had a
mhm,
strong classical foundation. Um, and then, going to school, going to university, studying, I loved R&B jazz music. And I
mhm,
thought, how in the world can I transform this instrument into an R&B smooth jazz vibe? Because nobody at the time was really kind of doing what I wanted to do.
mhm,
So I got with a wonderful producer here in San Diego by the name of Carl Evans Jr. He was a musical director for a smooth jazz band. So he had me just watch in the recording studio as he produced other artists. I didn't even know how a an album comes together, that is like baking a cake. You know, it's all this layering. You put in the flour, you put in the butter, you put in the sugar, you put it, and it's the same thing with recording an album. You know, you have your rhythm and your vocals and your strings and all of that, and then you bring in the main instrument. For me, would be the harp at the end. So it was quite a journey, and he always taught me. He said, "What do you want to say in music? There's important that you have something to say to your audience." So that was how I got started. And I mean, there's so many stories I can tell you, but you know, that is somewhat of the beginning of my journey. And you know, it's different. You know, hey, the harp is different. And plus in our community, you really don't see that.
No.
You know, in our neighborhood, we'll have the piano, we'll have the gospel choir and dancing and all of that. But the harp, you know, so you were looked upon as being a little bit different, if not downright odd. And another thing is cost prohibitive. You know, the harp is very expensive, your lessons, all of that. So it's not easy for us to go down to walk this walk, as they say, walk the walk. Yeah.
And you need space to store it as well, because it's massive, isn't it?
Say it again.
No, I was saying you need the space to store it because it looks really massive. Yeah. So
well, it looks like it, but I mean, this is sitting in my living room, so yeah, it can go into different spaces, right? Yeah. But you know, so, I started out on a smaller harp, a little small baby harp, what they call a Celtic harp. And I could just lift it and carry it wherever I wanted to go, put it in a little bag. And then I started on that, and then graduated to what this is called a grand concert harp. And so, you know, that's part of the process as well.
And it's quite amazing that you are able to, because you know, to mix all the sounds, you know, because from what I was listening, there's, you know, you span from jazz, R&B, and soul. And so how do you manage to, you know, to harmonize all of this, because it can be very difficult?
Yes. Well, I majored in music. And then again, like I was telling you earlier, being in the studio for 3 years with professional musicians and watching how they come into the studio, how they approach the music. And it gave me an insight of layering, you know, with the rhythm section and vocals and all of that. So I think that unbeknownst to me at that time, I was really absorbing a lot. And so when I went to go do my project, I know exactly kind of how I wanted it to sound. And plus I had, you know, again, 2 wonderful producers that knew exactly what I wanted. And so through the collaborations, we put the music together, you know, and you're like, no, I think we have too much of this. Take back the strings, or bring up the vocals, or the harp needs to be more out front. So it is a process, but I am releasing my fourth album this year. The first one was the toughest, and I would say the easiest, because my producer always said, this is the easy part, recording. It's the marketing that is the challenge, is getting your music out there all over the world. And he was absolutely right. Is, you know, getting the exposure and having people worldwide, which most of us want to hear our music and hear what we have to say.
Let's have, you know, a little bit of, you know, an idea of what this music looks like. I will play one of the song, and you will really appreciate it if you're listening. I can imagine. So there's the Africa, which was the big, you know, big hit for you. So we'll put that in so people. So very
And then you never hear Africa. You see Africa with sound.
So fantastic song, and there's also, the one that so that thing, which is, a well-known song, but this version is also fantastic.
Lauren Hill.
Lauren Hill, yeah. So very, very rich, very, also, you push you to dance and really go out of, your rhythm and everything. So, and, I was asking myself because, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's the first time that I see, I actually meet an harpist. So that's the first time. So the first question that came to me when I was, going through the preparation is, what are the challenge that you had? Because being not only a woman harpist, an African American harpist, so being a minority, how did you, what are the challenges that you went through at the beginning, if any, obviously, and how did you manage to, to go through all those obstacles and challenges so far?
Well, I will tell you, there were a lot of challenges, and it continues to be a lot of challenges. And you nailed every single one of those points on being a woman, being African American, playing an instrument that is not readily common in the music, in contemporary music. Right from the beginning, I got so many no's. I tell this story because I said, I went home after seeing the harp for the very first time and telling my parents that I wanted to play the harp. And they say, we're not paying for any harp, we're not paying for any harp lessons. Besides, Black people don't play the harp. So they didn't have a clue as to what this was. They didn't go to symphonies. They were busy working. And so I was one of those type of child or kid that anybody told me no, I was going to prove you wrong, that I could do this. So at the time, my brother had a restaurant and I asked him if I could work there after school. And he wanted to know why. And I said, well, I'm going to take harp lessons. Well, again, what? Why do you want to do that? That's little like different. And so right from the beginning, there was a lot of pushback. So on my journey, I've gotten a lot of pushback because people don't understand, and a lot have, especially during this time, we're talking, good 20 years ago. What is a harp? What does it do? Maybe hear little bits of it in the orchestra and the symphony, but to come forward, and my dream was to make it a lead instrument. And so people didn't quite get that. So all the way through, except when I got with my producer, he totally understood exactly what I wanted to do. But through school, me being an African-American woman in a harp department, a lot of pushback. They didn't even speak to me. I was like non-existent. And so there were some times where I tell people it was so tough that I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to give up. I'm going to go home. Just forget it. But, has some people, I think you have a destiny and you have an angel spirit that walks with you to say you're not going to turn around. You're not going to go back. That says, keep going. So that's what I did. Despite what anyone else was doing or saying, I kept going. And yeah, so, and you have to understand too, being a woman in the music industry, it's mostly dominated by men.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, I play the harp and I play R&B, I play smooth jazz. Well, I never heard that before. That is the response. I never heard that before. So I usually say, I can show you better than I can tell you. And I think that's why I record, continue to record, because I think that the more that I record my music and get it out, that people will truly understand what the harp is capable of. Now, from my perspective, because, we have a different perspective on how we present our art and our creativity, and what we see or what I see or what I hear is going to be different from another harpist. Because of my upbringing, my environment, what's played in the home, and your experiences. So concerts and how to incorporate what you do into what other people do. So yes, it is a challenge. It continues to be a challenge. I don't think that it really ever goes away, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just part of it. It is what it is, because that's the space we're in right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're actually right. Challenge never go away. You just go through different challenges, and that's just part of part of the process. Especially when you want to continue to improve, you will keep bumping, see those obstacles, those challenges, and you just have, like you said, you just have to keep going. And so one question that I have as well is, fruit. Often people say that the music, most music have a message. So is it the same thing for the harp? Through whatever song or music that you compose, is there a particular message? Let's say the Africa that we just listen. What story? Message where you expressing through this piece of music.
Yes, absolutely. I went on a tour in Africa, and that's where Africa came from. I went to the Cameroons, and that was, our first stop. And it was really profound because in between, we were there for a week. And so in between the shows and everything, we got to get into the city, and we got to do some touring, the local people and the food and the sights and the sounds and the nightclubs. And I was so impressed with the African rhythms, polyrhythms, and then seeing, some of the going into the backcountry and seeing the animals, and how am I going to, I had to do something to express this experience of this trip and the travel, but to bring Africa back and present that rhythmically, where if you're listening, you will actually see it. If you're thinking about it, you will see the plains, you will see the giraffes, you will see all the diversity that's going on. So that was the story behind that. And, getting with my producer, Alan Phillips, and him coming together, and I creating something very wonderful and beautiful with Africa. So yes, all my music does have somewhat of a underlining theme, each one that I choose and why I chose that,
Fantastic. So we're gonna have a break, and just gonna take the opportunity to say hello to Regina. Regina is in Texas. Regina, thank you for joining us, and I hope you are enjoying the conversation. And then just continue to to comment, and if you have any question for Mariea Antoinette, please don't hesitate. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in few minutes, and to continue this beautiful conversation. So we are back. We are back with Mariea Antoinette. And for those just joining us, Mariea Antoinette is an international celebrated jazz harpist. She's a composer. She's also a performer, and she has transformed the harp into a powerful, lead instrument in contemporary music. So I hope, those who have joined us from the beginning are enjoying the conversation. And one of the thing, and there's event coming up. So you will be performing with an all-female, jazz, in pink at the Sea Breeze Jazz Festival. Is that correct?
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So what makes the collaboration so special? Because an all female group. Wow, that's first time actually that I see that as well.
Oh, okay. Well, the band's leader, Gail Johnson, she thought of
Mm-hmm.
the concept. She's a pianist and a
Mm-hmm.
jazz pianist, and she thought of the concept of putting all women together in a band because she said also as she was traveling around, she saw different female musicians, but they were single. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they were part of the band. It was just one, or they were soloing, or they opened up a show, but they was by themselves. So she thought that, what if I can go and get, all these different amazing female musicians and to put them together in a band and create this whole dynamic presentation. And
Mm-hmm.
so this is what's happening in Seabreeze. And so she named the group Jazz and Pink. And I think Jazz and Pink has been together for at least 15, 16 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so uh, I was going to say Seabreeze is a huge platform. I
Mm-hmm.
believe they have maybe close to 30,000 people will be at this festival, and we're there prime time. And what is beautiful is that we each during the show have a highlight, a spotlight in the show where we come out and we play a few of our songs, and then we play all together as a group. And I think it's a powerful thing. The first time I played, well, I want to say the first time I played with Jazz and Pink, but we've been out on the road, and this was quite a number of years ago when it first got started. That after we got off stage, the people were cheering so much, the crowd loved it so much. You would have thought we were Michael Jackson. I mean, it was that intense because all females at the top of their game, playing beautifully, wonderfully before a crowd, which is very unique. So that's how that happened. And I kind of had launched my solo career with my own band, and so it's nice to come back to be a feature with Jazz and Pink the 25th of this month in Panama City,
Mm-hmm.
Florida. Yes.
Wow, that's and what can of audience expect, from what can the audience expect from this performance? Anything special that, objective that is out there, or just, coming to enjoy?
Yes, come to enjoy all the talent. We have a violinist, we have an amazing bass player, Robin Bramlett, and Gail Johnson on keys. I will be on harp. I'm going to open with Africa when I'm presented and do other songs, a Gap Band song, Yearning, and three selections. So
Mm-hmm.
it will be wonderful. I think just the whole, and we'll all be in pink. And it'll be interesting because I spoke with, the musical director yesterday. I said, so Gail, what are we wearing? We're in pink. And she said, yeah, well, which way do you want us to go?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fancy, contemporary, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
all fun. So it'll be interesting to see what the girls wear for this big festival. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a bit jealous because I'm not going to be able to be there, but I'll be there in spirit.
Well, I think that you can stream it. I mean, I
Wow.
think you can
Mm-hmm.
stream it. So do that. And we're on Saturday, I think approximately like 3 o'clock or something. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All
either
right. So if
way,
it's Saturday, I can, stay up and stream it. So that's
yeah.
a very good idea. Thanks for suggesting. So that's really because when I hear about, what it is, and also, just listening when preparing the show, listening to your music, I was like, wow. I really want to be there and be part of this. So thank you
And it
for
is
all you
sold
do.
out, so that's amazing too.
So,
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about women here, and how is it how important it is for you to be part of platform that elevate women in music and in leadership in general, because you have to have some leadership to be a musician as well. Sometimes they think, oh no, it's just you come and then you it's just inspiration and then you just put everything together, but you need some leadership as well. So how important is it for you?
Yeah, it's very important. It's absolutely very important. The image that you portray when you step out to be a leader, because people are looking, they're
Mm-hmm.
observing, and to present the right image, whatever quote unquote right image is. But I think because people are looking at, how you speak, what do you have to say? And this was the one thing that was really imparted to me in the beginning. It's always stay true to yourself and to project what is it that you have to say. When I
Mm-hmm.
speak to the kids, there's a lot of times people, they ask me locally or let's say in Los Angeles to come speak to the children, let's say during Black History Month or Juneteenth, to come and maybe play a selection. But we want you to talk to the kids about your journey and how important it is to have discipline, because we live in a society now that everybody, the children think that you can have it overnight, and it doesn't work like that. So coming from a leadership aspect, I have to let them know that this just didn't happen overnight, that I had to sit down
Mm-hmm.
every day and practice, to put in the time and the work that it takes to do and achieve what you want at high level. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's very important part of leadership, and working together with other people and doing the right thing. And so I was at a school just recently, and I had did this, and so it was majority African American children, and I had to impart to them. I felt like my spirit told them to tell them that you're not dumb, you're not stupid, you are so
Mm-hmm.
powerful, and there's nothing you cannot do. There's nothing you cannot achieve, but you have to put the work in. And I kind of scanned the audience, and their eyes were big as saucers. So I'm like, whoa, nobody's really told them that, to believe in
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And no matter what anyone tells you about who you are important, and you have everything within you to succeed. And I said, so I'm giving you the mantle. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not here, that you have to take it on. You have to continue the journey. And so I really enjoy that. But leadership is very, very important. Even when you're working
Mm-hmm.
with other people, that you have a cohesive personality that is not combative, and that you're willing to work as a teammate. There's just so many aspects to this whole thing of leadership. And it's very important. It really is, especially as
Very,
a
very,
female.
very important.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as female, African American female, because again, we're being judged differently, right? Through a different set of standards. And I think it's something my mom gave me too. She was a very wise woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our
Mhm.
moms, I mean, they went through a lot as well. So they had definitely things to share. They've learned, the hard way, and it is important that we listen to them. So I can see that Regina is enjoying. So she said she's enjoying from Austin, Texas, and she really appreciate that, agree on staying true to yourself,
Yeah,
and
yes,
which is a very important thing. You don't want to lose yourself in the process. You want to stay true to yourself.
absolutely.
And yeah, and so we're gonna have another break, and we will be back. Oh, there is a long actually message here from Venita. I enjoyed this interview with Marie Antoinette. The part one I had was empowering. Her humble beginning. Let us know God will take those gifts and bless us with to use to touch others, and even what she started about how to practice and perfect your skills is important. So beside God did not bless us with those gifts to hide under, a bushel, but to share with the world. However, we must give him all the glory. Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
Thank you.
Benita, for
Thank
this
you.
beautiful, beautiful word. And we will have a break and we'll come back to understand, what's next for Marie Antoinette and the legacy that, she's working on. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. We will be back in few minutes.
Finally, I think I want this world to be a more enlightened, a more just and more equal, and an equal opportunity and equal prosperity for everyone in this world, not just men and women, but for everyone.
Shared core values, shared activities, shared goals, it would actually help to solidify the relationship. And you can also use that as a kind of test for you when you want to get into the relationship. If the person doesn't have shared goals with you, chances are that the relationship is not going to last. If the person doesn't have shared activities, that means you won't enjoy each other's company. You won't want to be with them because you don't want to do the same activity with them. And then if you don't have shared core values, then again, if you have differing core values, that also might just be the beginning of the end.
Every one of us is connected to what is happening in human trafficking. If it's not your immediate daughter, niece, granddaughter, you know somebody that is. One child that is trafficking impacts us globally. So let's stop it and let's all get connected. Your voice matters. You just sharing the message matters. So let's all say that we have a personal mission to stop human trafficking and to make sure that humanity is equal and treated fairly across the world.
Sometimes you're going to be scared and you just got to keep going, even if you're scared, because on the other side of being scared is your goal, is the success. So anytime I'm doing anything, don't think because I have on my red lipstick from the lip bar and my hair is perfectly curled that I have it all together. Inside, I'm going, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm scared the whole time. But like I said, I don't give up. So to everyone out there who's listening, this is an amazing platform because I'm sure everyone who has come on your show has the same type of strength I have, which is not giving up when it's hard and not giving up when they're strong, and just to keep going. And that is what is so important. As you know, my grandmother said, keep on keeping on. And that is something we can all live by.
So we are back. We are back with Marie Antoinette, and it is so far very inspiring and an inspiring conversation, and I hope you are enjoying it. And and I always ask myself, when I see, someone, pushing through and being the best that she or he can be. So what is the mindset that help you to stay at the top of your game consistently, because you obviously need consistency to keep improving and to keep delivering the to the high standard. So what mindset help you to do that?
Well, I have several things. Like I was telling you earlier, I do religiously do a morning meditation with spirit and walking on the beach about 3 times a week. But, I have to encourage myself because the world really does not encourage you. And there's affirmations and believing in your journey and knowing that, you cannot give up, you cannot quit, that you came here. Each one of us came here to do something special. Each one of us came here with a genius and a purpose. And it's up to us to find out what that is. And that's very, very important, because a lot of times people follow the crowd. I'm not the type of girl who follows the crowd, because when you follow the crowd, you'll be with them. But when you walk that path and journey alone, you'll find yourself in the most amazing places. And that has been that for me, because I believed in what I was doing. And I said, well, at some point, somebody's, the world's going to catch up, or let's say, the music community will catch up, and that's okay. But it's, the importance of leaving a legacy of what you're doing, and to never be afraid, even though a lot of times, it can get kind of scary. And but just to believe in who you are, and that to know that you came here for a purpose, and that we all are very powerful. And speaking in terms of our genetics and who we are as a people, melanated people, that we are gifted beyond measure. We're powerful beyond measure. And so I walk with that, knowing that, I'm just not here. I wasn't just born, that I came here for a purpose. And it's up to me to find that out. I know I have a lot of aspects to myself. I'm an avid reader. And so I have to tell my story one day. The story has to be written down for those who are coming behind me to know the details, because it's no straight line. There's a lot of potholes, and there's a lot of disappointments, and there's a lot of people who will hurt you. But that's all part of it, because if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So,
Exactly.
and you have to stay the course. And because, again, there's sometimes like, oh boy, this is really kind of hard. Maybe I should be doing something else. But, well, I'm not doing something else. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. And to take care of yourself. That's another message. I wanted to say the importance of taking care of our health. I'm like serious health. I don't want to say addict, but into health and wellness. Let's put it that way. Because again, genetically, we have been gifted to have so many amazing things. This body is so profound when you know what it is. And so we have to have the tools to take care of that,
So mind and spirit important, very, very important.
Very important.
We have to take care of them. And I heard you talking about legacy, and so that just ring the bell to me, and to ask you this question: what legacy are you actually intentionally building through your music and the different platform that you're part of?
Well, I think also too, a book is on its way. The Adventures of Mariea Antoinette, and also too, a health and wellness book is coming. And just some other things coming to leave a legacy for that when, I go pass on to the next dimension, that people have, what was her story? We didn't know. So there's a lot of aspects of leaving a legacy for people to have, people to read, people to listen to, music to listen to, like, oh, wow, I get it. And so, and people, things, and places have been put on my path that I realize more now than ever to bring me to this point, to your platform, to get the word out, to let people know, that there is a person out here that has something to offer, and to give. Right.
Fantastic. And I can see that Anita is also talking about, legacy. I love that. That's why my big mama did for our family. And now I get to follow her guidance, words of wisdom, and a wavering faith in God to leave, a legacy to my daughter and grandchildren. So
Right.
fantastic thing. And wellness, and Regina is actually also strong into taking care of you ourselves, and super on wellness. It's very important, definitely, especially as we age. We actually have to do a little bit more, and for our body and mind as well. So just wanted to ask you, so I can go on, with you. I'm just enjoying this, enjoying this conversation. But obviously, we have to, to cut it short. But just wanted to know, um, how do people connect with you if they want to continue the conversation, get to know a little bit more about your work and what you do, and connect with you, maybe just, to learn from you, so far.
Well, musically, you could go on Spotify. There's a lot of my work on Spotify. I do have a wonderful website, www.mariaantoinette.com, and it's exactly how it is spelled on the screen here. I'm on
Mm-hmm,
Instagram and a little bit on Facebook, but I do have a presence there, and YouTube as well. But yeah,
mm-hmm,
there's all different kind of ways to connect with me and reach out. And I
mm-hmm,
love talking to other artists and people just in general. I think, who want to know, how did this happen? Or, what should I do?
mm-hmm.
I'm in this situation musically. I'm not a psychiatrist, but yeah, music, it's quite a journey. It is a journey. It's a lesson in itself, because you have to take care of your business. And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so yeah, they can do it that way. You've got it up there now, marieantoinette.com.
That comes.
Thank you.
So just and then you should have all the connection on the social media from the website so far.
Yes.
So, and I love, this question as well, because it's so difficult. We go through, our journey, like you said, it's not a straight line, it's very bumpy, there's a lot
Yeah.
going on. So if you could, summarize your journey in one powerful message to the world, what would it be?
That is a good question. One powerful word. Oh my God. Let's see. One powerful word.
Message, what
Oh,
powerful
message.
message,
Oh,
not
message.
word, because
Just hang it. You
word,
know what?
it's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's a great question.
Hmm.
If you have something in your heart you want to do it. No matter what nobody says, because no one can see what you see. No one
Hmm.
has the vision of your vision, which is probably pure genius. And don't be distracted or listen to what other people say, because that's the space I'm really in now. Like, I don't
Hmm.
care. I don't care what another person say. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And I will tell you, when you get to that spot and say, like, I'm going to do this darn thing and I'm going to figure it out, because we do have to figure it out. I had to figure out,
Hmm.
my teacher. I had to figure out how I'm going to get this harp. I had to figure out. I mean, I was 9 years old. And
Hmm.
so, just hang in there. If you have a dream, a goal, pursue it with all your
Hmm.
power and all your might, because you will find yourself in places that are truly amazing. Yes.
Wow. So, what an extraordinary conversation. I don't want to leave this platform today. So, as you can see, Maria Antoinette is not just an artist, she's a visionary, she's a pioneer, and a true, what I call a true greatness engineer. So, she
I
engineers
love that
greatness.
title.
Yeah, exactly. And she really, you did remind us that, greatness is not about fitting into, an existing framework, from, what we discuss here. It's all about having the courage to redefine yourself and to go after your dream, because
Yes.
that's, the message that you just, voiced today. And so you took an instrument bound by tradition and you actually transform it into a powerful voice of innovation, expression, impact. So that's true greatness, and that's why you deserve the title of greatness engineer. It's
Thank you.
all it's definitely a good a good title for you. And just wanted to ask you before we leave the platform, any message, anything that you really dying to share with the audience today, or even any project that you think will be useful for us not only to get involved or to participate into.
I think that we are living in a world now that we're being heavily poisoned through the air, the water, through the food. And I think it's like the utmost importance now to detox, to take care of our health, to watch everything that we're putting in our mouth. I know we talked about the music side, but this is really extraordinarily important right now because we live in a system that wants to eliminate us. And so we have to read the labels on everything that we're purchasing to know that it is true, or be more plant-based because that is what we are. Get some sun, some vitamins, and really look in the mirror to know that you are truly special. We really are. That would be the most powerful message I could tell the audience who's listening, that we are truly, truly special people.
Fantastic. We are truly, truly special people. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for your inspiration today and for your message, your powerful voice. And I just hope the audience really, build from it to go to the next level of, for each one of you to go to the next level of your greatness. And I just wanted to reiterate the fact that, and it came through this conversation, that your uniqueness is your power. So just understand that you are powerful beyond measure. Your difference is what's making an advantage for you. And your journey, no matter how, unconventional, or no matter the the challenges that you go through, all the blueprint of your greatness, and you have to, decide, act, and, go beyond what you think is possible. It's common, and to go to the next level and expand yourself, because obviously there is a gift that you have, and if you've not find it, try to find it, and give it back to the world. So thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
again,
You're welcome. Thank
Maria
you for
Antoinette,
having me. Thank you.
yes, so it was
Yes.
definitely a pleasure to have you. So
Thank
I will be back
you so much.
next week for another episode of the Greatness Engineering Show, and I hope you're going to join us. And particular thank you to all the people who've joined us today. So we had Pam, we have Mabi Carters, we had Regina, and also Vernita. Thank you for participating and also giving us your insight. So that's all for today.
Okay.
You all have a great, I don't know, on your side is probably enjoy the rest of your day. For me, it will be a good night.
Yes. Okay.
It will be a good night.
Thank
And we're all going to stay connected. Thank you very much for
you.
everything.
Thank you. Thank you.